Oh, oh,
Uh,
there.
We should have tried to time in the uniform. That would have been kind of funny.
I know, I know. I was like, oh fuck, he's doing it.
What do you got today?
This is I still have like because this
The-
was so good, the holiday vanilla Coke.
I don't think I had that. Oh no, I did. I only had it in a bottle. I never saw it in a can.
Dude, I feel like the can of it is delicious. It's like one of my favorite diet because I have an empty can right here of the wild cherry,
Yeah.
and I will always prefer the Coke over the Pepsi right now. This one,
No, you know what? I have evolved into way more of a Coke fan over the years, and I
me too.
don't know if that's Pepsi's fault or the Coke just get better. I don't know. Because
Yeah,
like I used to love the Pepsi Max, right? Do you remember Pepsi Max?
I do, yeah.
Like that was the
But
only one that was like their 0 calorie diet one. That I guess that was like their what would you call that? Because it wasn't like it was just supposed to be a better sugar free flavor.
yeah, because I mean, that was like when
That was
diet
their zero
soda first
sugar. That
came
was
out.
like their zero sugar version.
'Cause I don't think I ever had that one. I would always
Pepsi
see it
Max.
in the grocery
Yeah.
stores, but I would never buy it because at the time I was a regular soda drinking fiend until like I went into like full on bodybuilding. So
Yeah.
the new Coke Cherry, I have heard that is one to try.
I
But I
tried
haven't
it. It
tried it.
tasted way more like Coke vanilla than I thought it would.
Not cherry. Interesting.
There was a cherry taste for sure, but it tasted way more like Coke vanilla to me.
See, I might
Which
like that.
isn't bad because I like Coke vanilla, but I was like, damn, I wish it tasted way more like cherry.
You're expecting like
Yeah,
that's why I like these are very cherry,
they
which
are.
is why I like them because they're not like you know why it's the wild cherry and cream that's what that flavor is.
But you know what's funny, Tony? I got a question for you. Is Pepsi bigger than Coca Cola over there? I'm curious because like I feel like in some regions, like when I was in Aruba, they had a Pepsi factory there on the island. So like Pepsi was everywhere. So I'm just curious, do you guys have way more Pepsi out there? Because like I feel like Coke is a little more dominant over here.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say it's probably the more common product.
Yeah, like when you
But
go to a restaurant, you like have a Diet Coke, and rarely do they say we have Pepsi.
Josh, how do you know the specific exact date that you last had a diet soda? Is that
Maybe,
because it was the day of your show? Is
yeah,
that
maybe.
wait? Let me think. October 4th. Yeah, that was Big Cat was October. Was it October 4th? I think it
Yeah, I
was.
think so.
So he hasn't had diet soda. And I feel like once you start prep, you really become a diet soda holic or just energy drink holic. I don't
Well,
remember
yeah,
the
because
last
like
time
you want
I
something to kill the cravings, and like
yeah,
that's like the easiest way to kill the cravings, honestly.
yeah,
And
exactly.
you know what is that like when you're just trying to fill your stomach full of air too, like to fall asleep or you're hungry, like carbonated drinks are like A1 for that.
Yeah, and it's why I used to like buying the like all the root like the mug root beer that has no caffeine.
Yeah.
So I was getting like because I could drink that with like my last meal before bed. Um, but yeah, it's I'm diving in back into my diet soda behaviors. And speaking of diet soda, um, I talked to Mark about this before we hop on the call, but I don't know if any of you saw it. Sam Solik was going through his peak week protocol for water consumption, and he drank instead of 12 liters of water, he drank 12 liters of diet soda, which
Which is insane. And you hear his rationale was it was because of minerals. Bro, there's salt added in there. Like I understand like maybe he was using that to also get salt in, but there is sodium in diet soda.
yeah, see, he was saying for like he said I think it was like electrolyte balance.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm looking at this right now, and this Coke Zero has 55 milligrams of caffeine, so like not a lot at all. But like, wouldn't you rather drink just distilled water if you're gonna go that crazy about your sodium. Like,
Yeah, or maybe just buy bottled like mineral water, like a
yeah,
set,
exactly.
like something like this, and you can actually like read it on the back. I'm like, okay, cool. This has 5 milligrams of sodium. That's not really going to affect my electrolytes compared to having something maybe that's distilled, which may affect your actual electrolytes.
And it's not like it's like we are anti diet soda at all, but it's like
Not at all.
there's no like I understand that your stomach can be fine with artificial sweeteners, but like the more you consume, the bigger the risk becomes.
Yeah.
And especially for classic, where like your weight is so important or your waistline is so important to
Yeah, I
maintain.
wouldn't want to, honestly, at that point, I would not be crushing carbonated beverages, honestly.
No, I mean, but he's also the same guy who is drinking like whole milk and whatever
Yeah.
to dirty bulk. So
I have to say, like, his peak wasn't bad, though, from what we saw. So, like,
no,
it fucking worked, but definitely not the route I would have ever suggested for anyone in the fucking world.
and he must have fixed his posing a little bit because it was bad.
It definitely looked better.
Yeah. So and that was a good showing too.
Did you guys get any questions, by the way?
Oh yeah. Let me. I did get one. And it was an exercise related question.
I got one too. It was what tips would you give a first timer for their first prep?
Ooh, wait, that's like a whole podcast episode.
That is a whole podcast. So I guess like more like what to expect, right?
Yeah.
So like, I guess like the most simplistic or best advice I'd probably give someone who's about to start prep is time management is your absolute best friend. Because that's probably the biggest issue for most people in prep is just trying to fit everything in on a regular basis and really balance their life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you have to be willing to accept the sacrifices you're going to make because you're going to have to. Like, your friends are going to want to go out and drink, and your friends are going to want to go out and party. And like, you have to be willing to accept that those are things you either can't do, or you go out and you have to bring your food and not drink and drink water and diet soda while you're out. So I think that's a big part of it is like what surprises people the most is like, especially nowadays, they underestimate how hard it's going to be, especially towards the end.
Exactly.
So if you put like in your head that you know it's going to be hard, it ends up making it easier. Like,
yeah, well, like set the bar pretty high and be underwhelmed, right? Like, you've heard the phrase like under promise, over deliver. I kind of want you to do the opposite here. I want you to think it perhaps going to be way more challenging than it probably actually is going to be. So you can be more so underwhelmed by how hard it is compared to overwhelmed by how hard it may be for you.
yeah.
And I was gonna say the next thing, like I would probably tell someone is that the goal should not be, especially like based on where you're at, like, and how long you've been doing this. The goal may not to be to win your show, right? It's just to kind of get your feet wet, see if you like the experience, do the best that you can. But like going in with the mindset that you're probably going to smoke your class is probably not the best idea for your very first show.
Yeah, I think it's like social media has done that where it's like, oh my God, go win your first show and then go win your pro card right after. And it's like 99% of the time, that's just not how it goes.
Not how it goes at all.
It's usually like you are somewhat in the novice class and then you get blown away in the open class because you're going up against guys who are absolutely getting ready for nationals even.
That's the big thing is that they're simply, especially in the open category, you should do well in novice or true novice at your very first show because those are people who are probably identical to you. But yeah, in the open division, kind of expect to not to kind of get smoked to some capacity.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be people like me and Jack, and not tooting our horns at all, but we're people who are going to nationals trying to compete at a national level and get a card. So by no means is it our first time. So even if the person was somehow bigger than us, we would probably just do better on stage as a byproduct of us having more experience more than anything else. So going in with the expectation to do the best that you can, not necessarily going with the mindset that like, hey, I'm taking this as mine.
And I think a huge one too is like, don't go into prep unless you've already established a consistent routine down. Because if you don't and you think, oh, once prep starts, I'm going to have a consistent routine, you're going to be so vastly overwhelmed by everything that's happening. It's like a lot of people think, oh, I'll lock in and everything will come together. And it's like,
there's no magic switch, man.
Yeah. And that's why, not to get off topic, but when you treat your off season and your full year just like you would prep, it doesn't feel any different. You don't feel like you're on prep. You just feel like you're just doing a different phase of your approach. And that's because I think this applies a lot more to first timers as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't have a routine developed, or at least a very strict routine developed before they pull the trigger on a prep.
Yeah, and I was telling actually Nas this the other day. I'm like, now you kind of experience your first prep. You kind of have an idea how this kind of goes, which just makes it a little easier for you mentally moving forward for your next prep, because you know, like, all right, cool, like, I always need to carve out this much time. Like, I need to ask off like these days for work. Like, at this point in prep, I'm only going to feel much worse at this point. So let me like make sure like I have less stuff on my plate once we get to like 6 weeks, shit like that. But
yeah.
There's a cat behind you?
Yeah, I had my cat that I got when I lived with my parents back in 2020. And I never had her in the old apartment. And now that I have the new place, I decided to bring her here, and this is her second day here, and she clearly fucking sees something outside, and I'm convinced it's her shadow, which I don't know, anyone watching could probably see. I've been looking over.
Bro, I just pulled. I just actually had my first fucking hit.
Oh shit, that's a sick card.
Yeah, it's the Mega Starmie EX.
Luna, you're good luck. Wait, I saw your story where you were gonna open packs on. You're like, should I?
Yeah, I'm already like $40 down the hole right now.
Oh god. Oh, there was something else. Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up. So in I think it's Florida. It's one state or one region. They're changing it so that novice is now.
Yeah, I saw that. You can compete in the novice as long as you don't make top 10 of nationals.
Or you win it if you don't win it overall. So I could walk in and do a fucking novice now, and I just don't think that's fair. Like, I just think it's fucking stupid.
I just pulled a $200 card.
Really?
Yeah,
dude, you got a good fucking pack. You made your money back.
I did make my money back. Look at me go.
Finally.
Right?
Whatever shop you got.
Well, I don't think I made my money back. I'm like 1,000 in the hole right now. So.
Yeah, it'll take a couple of good pulls.
we need some good pulls here. I saw that, which it's so weird to me, and I guess it's just so because like they want to charge as much as they can for each person, right? So if I can charge you for novice and open and get you to pay for 2 categories compared to you always paying for one, as a business, that's better for me. As a bodybuilder, I personally think I'm stealing from someone, right? Because I've seen people, and this is like a shitty move, and if like no one should ever fucking do this. I've seen people do true novice at multiple shows over multiple years.
Yeah,
and I'm like, bro, you're literally taking a placing away from someone who is actually doing their first show. You're just a shitty bodybuilder. So like you're trying to get the only piece of hardware you can get so you can post on your social media. Let's not fucking do this.
And that's why I would like, even if I could compete in novice, why would I? Like,
I'm not doing it.
Nothing in terms of my goals. I want to see how I am against the top guys.
That's it.
And come away with an overall and then go to nationals. Like, there's no reason for me to compete in a novice division unless I want to just trophy collect. And like, that's no fun. That's not what the sport is about. But
not at all.
And like you said, it sucks because it takes away from someone who it could be their first time, and like they come in second, or to someone who has won plenty of times.
Yeah, and like the thing is this, right, man? Like I feel like your first experience as a bodybuilder really kind of like dictates how well you probably go moving forward, or if you keep doing it, right? And I've seen people have bad experiences for their first show and just give up on bodybuilding because, like, maybe how the prep went, or maybe something that happened during the prep, and maybe we'll say they weren't cut out for the sport to begin with, right? But like, I feel like if some people simply just had a slightly better experience, so if like everyone who has been doing open and winning open for years just all of a sudden decided to all go to novice, like the class would be pointless.
Yeah,
it'd be a pointless class. Like who's an actual novice then?
It's like it becomes
just the top 5 at nationals are not novice. That's it.
It's increasingly it gets increasingly obvious that it's just for money, and that's what sucks. Is like you ruin integrity and experience because you want more financial gain.
Yeah,
no one likes that as a competitor. Exactly. It's like, oh, this is how this sport works. I'm just not gonna fucking do this. Like,
I pulled the fucking card again.
Another one?
The same one twice.
Damn. Keep making that money back. We got a deficit to dig into.
But that being said, I think it's a good segue into the topic, just because, like, I did mention that like a bad coaching experience or bad prep can sometimes ruin bodybuilding for people. And I know we both have heard stories of people giving up on bodybuilding due to similar reasons, because how crazy their prep was, or all the drugs they were on, or because they were run ragged, or it was just such a bad experience overall. They didn't look the way they wanted to. They were embarrassed on stage. You can keep going on with rationales. And some of the people who were coaching those people to begin with shouldn't be coaching anyone, because they have no expertise in the category whatsoever, and they're just doing it because they think it's an easy way to collect some money.
I don't know. You were backstage, and I won't say the person. They were talking to me about their old coach, and she was a female, and her coach had her on 1,000 calories, and this isn't for a prep. This is just general dieting. 1,000 calories and like, I think she said like 10 grams of fat. And of course she loses. Her
hormones are so sad.
Yep. Her thyroid values were basically destroyed. And it's the exact reason. And the amount of protein she was eating was 220 grams.
So
this guy took whatever plan he was doing for himself and gave it to a fucking female. Yeah. And it's exactly why we get so annoyed at irresponsible and new coaches who think they know what the fuck they're doing because they did a show once and I can fucking diet anybody. And
I can do this. This doesn't seem too hard. My coach just kept taking away more food until I was show ready. That's what I do for everyone.
And then you go and destroy someone's thyroid for the rest of their fucking life. Like, it's so irresponsible. It's why we get so annoyed about this. It's like, it's not that it's just irresponsible coaching. Is that it can absolutely destroy someone's health for not just the short term but the long term. And that's
absolutely,
especially females too, specifically.
Yeah, more so specifically women than anything else, especially due to how the hormones are affected so much by stress and nutrition. Yeah. And people don't get this. Like, fatty acids are essential, right? They're called EFAs for a fucking reason. And sometimes people will be like, "Oh, why do I have some fats on this day, or have fats here? Why do I need olive oil, or so on?" I'm like, bro, you need basic fats just to make your hormones, like, especially as a natural, right? Like, and I explain to people, like, there's a reason why you can diet enhance bodybuilders much differently. And one of the big key major factors is that I am no longer making my own hormones naturally, right? I am not making my own testosterone. That is artificially injected into my body several times over the course of the week. And if I'm in a point in prep and my thyroid is pushing it back at me, I can simply just take some Synthroid, right? I can just take some T3, and that will help regulate my thyroid when my food gets super low or my cardio gets super high. But they need fats. And I'm tired of seeing natural competitors being like 15, 20 grams of fat. Like, I would rather bottom out every other fucking metric for a natural.
And it's funny because you can like it's almost coincides with them also giving the athlete way too much protein.
Always way too much protein.
Because they're like, oh, we're not going to lose muscle if we keep protein really, really high. And then if that athlete were to get, say it's like this female, right? She gets blood work done, her kidney values are going to be super fucking high because she's eating 100 more grams of protein than her fucking body weight. And like, yeah, it's good to have enough protein, but and I don't think it's necessarily going to destroy your kidneys, but
like, let's also just call it what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like we are taking extra steps just to make glycogen by doing that. That's all we're fucking doing, right?
Exactly.
So I might as well just simply just take those grams of protein and give them to you in carbs. And you know what? You're probably going to actually lose weight. Yes. Are you losing more calories from the thermic effect of eating more protein? Absolutely. But I guarantee you two things are going to happen by introducing more carbohydrates. One, your thyroid is going to react in a positive way over the course of the whole entire day. Two, your workout performance in the gym may be significantly better. And if you can have better workout performance, you will normally look better. It is really rare that your performance in the gym gets better and you magically look worse.
Yeah, and I think there's a third point too, which is your NEAT. Is usually when we give more carbs, their NEAT is going to go up too. So you're going to be, bouncing your leg a little bit more. You're going to get up more often to go do something and like not be so like, oh, I just want to lay on the couch. And especially when you're eating that much protein, it's not only sluggish to eat like, well, it's a lot of protein for your body, but it's also going to stress the GI tract a bit. And yeah, protein helps keep us satiated, but it's not going to make us get up and move as much as giving someone the same amount of grams or calories worth of carbohydrates instead.
Well, but let's also go to this, right? What's going to make you lose muscle faster? One, losing your strength in the gym rapidly.
Yeah.
Or two, simply just having 1 gram of protein per pound.
Yep, exactly.
Right. So like that's the big thing that I try to beat in the people's head, because so many times, especially with my naturals, we're in prep and they see me reduce their protein and they kind of panic immediately. They're like, am I going to lose muscle? I'm like, bro, you're 160 pounds. You're eating 190 grams of protein. Now you're eating 160 grams of protein. If we really base this off your lean body mass, you may really be consuming 140 grams.
Yeah.
Right? Like you actually have like a 20 gram buffer in there. And I'm more concerned with you being able to move the same amount of weight you've been moving, because that's going to help you maintain the muscle you put on compared to you having a surplus of protein.
Yeah. And it's like, now that we've talked about this so many times, I almost feel like I could go up to any, and if there's someone who wants to be a coach and they come up to me and like, hey, I want to be a coach. How do I know if I'm valid enough to be a coach? I'm going to say, can you describe what gluconeogenesis is to me without looking at your phone? And if they can't, then I'm like, you're not cut out. you gotta go back to the books, my friend.
Well, like that goes into a concept, because so many people who start off coaching say, I don't want to coach competitors, I just want to coach lifestyle and help with that. And the one thing people don't get is the general public is way more unhealthy than the bodybuilding population. So there's normally a lot more things to work around. Like, I don't take any prescription drugs that I need from a doctor, right? Like I take telomethorphan because I want to. I don't have to. My BP is not too high. I take a quarter of a dosage, right? So like it's not because I need it. But you talk to the average American, they are on some type of pharmaceutical specifically due to an ailment they have. Maybe they have high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol. Maybe they're something for blood sugar. Maybe they're on a hormone product, especially if they're a woman. There's a lot of things that you normally have to work around. And if you don't have some understanding of basic pharmacology or don't understand how to work around these things, you may put yourself in a harder situation than just trying to get a gym bro to lose some weight.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. It's there's so many more factors and less consistency to a plan, and it's a lot more variables at play when you're dealing with like a lifestyle client versus a competitor who you hope is going to be very on point, following things to a T, training pretty hard. So like you're not having to kind of baby them every step of the way. And another thing about and this is just general mindset of competitors versus lifestyle. Competitors will come up to you if they have a question and they'll be like, hey, I saw this. I just want to get your opinion on it. Lifestyle will go, I saw this online, so I want to start doing it. And that is much more difficult to deal with. And it's why I was talking at the show this weekend of how coaching, you can have all the knowledge too. We're ragging on people for not having the knowledge, but you can always learn. It's having the communication skills. It's having the personality to understand somebody, to guide them in the right direction. That's really what makes a great coach, in my opinion. It is
absolutely. Because there's so many people who are intelligent, but they could never deal with someone during peak week, right? Like there is always a degree of give and pull when you're trying to get someone to do what you want them to do, even though it's in their best interest and really paying you for advice. Sometimes you have to manipulate people to kind of do what they're supposed to be doing. And I don't want to use the word manipulate, but it's probably the best way to actually to phrase it, is because, like, and I know you've experienced this, I've experienced this. Sometimes near the end, people start questioning things. Even though like they're exactly where they should be, and we all get in our head the last few weeks. It's completely natural. Like, if you care a lot about this and you put a lot of effort into this, you're very deeply emotionally invested in the outcome. So sometimes you second guess things because, Christ, like, we all have body dysmorphia. Like, we wouldn't be doing this shit if we didn't. Yeah. So like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you look, so you instantly message your coach and you're like, I think we're behind it, or I think I need a refeed, and you're trying to convince them that they don't need a refeed, or that they don't need to pull back, or they need to push harder, that they're exactly where they need to be. And sometimes you have to pull the right strings to get them to just slowly calm down and relax and no longer stress about whatever they're stressing about, which someone who's brilliant but literally has no people skills is not going to be able to do that. And like, I felt like that was coaching very much like a decade plus ago. It was like they were to be like, just follow the fucking plan, is what they would probably just respond back to you. Yep. Nowadays, since we communicate through like some type of instant messaging app, that you actually have to be able to deal with people's emotions and not just wait till the next business day to respond back to them.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it too, is like, I mean, we could, it's normal for a coach to be frustrated with something that a client is doing, but it's the ability to think before you speak. That when it comes to anything in life, if you can think about what you're going to say before you speak in a moment of emotion, you are going to be a much better human being, just in general. And being able to do that when it comes to coaching is, there's so much people understanding to be a really good coach, in my opinion, that like, what is this person's perspective? How do they see this? And what is the message that I need to get across to them? And what's the most effective way to do so? Some people out there literally want a coach that goes, no, you're being a fucking idiot. Like, get on track, follow this to a T, and don't fucking question me. Like, some people want that, but the majority of lifestyle people and more competitors in general don't want someone who's just going to tell them, do what the fuck I say. And that's
why it is a good thing. And this is why, like, you have to sometimes like code switch. And this is like a skill that you just develop from working with multiple clients, because not every person gets the same exact version of me. And what I mean by that is my clients feel a little bit more emotional, a little softer, get a much softer version of Mark, right? I'm less hard on them. I'm less anal about things. I nitpick things much less. Then I had the people who are naturally more militant. They are here specifically to be coached. And I will nitpick everything because that is specifically what they want. They want someone to point out exactly what they're doing wrong every single time they're doing something wrong, and tell them when they're doing something wrong so they simply can be better. Now, the way I deliver that message to each person may be much, much different based on how that person is. If it's for someone who I'm jokingly close with, hey, like, hey, fuckface, I've been telling you to stop doing it like that for the past 3 weeks. Keep the elbow in. And they're like, all right, I got you, dude. I'll keep the elbow in. But someone else who's been having the same issue repeatedly, who's slightly more emotional, more sensitive, I'd be like, hey, man, I see we're still keeping the elbow flared out. Is there a reason why you can't tuck the elbow in? What are you feeling when you're tucking the elbow in? Are you just forgetting to do it? Or is it an actual execution problem, right? It's just more actual problem solving, because the other person who I'm like, hey, fuckface, fucking keep the elbow in, and probably, I'm trying, I'm having an issue. And I'm like, all right, let's lower the weight, dude. But like the other person I'm doing a little bit of prying, more investigating, because I understand that they may think I'm coming from a not a loving place. So I want to meet them exactly where they're at. And that's, again, just a skill that you develop from coaching a bunch of different personalities. That's why I kind of like that I had I had competitors, and I had a big lifestyle business, and then went back to competitors, because it gave me the ability to work with a bunch of different people from different walks of life, different socioeconomic statuses, different ethnicities, different countries. So I kind of got to figure out, like, all right, cool, I can show up this person for this person, and this is Coach Mark for this person, and so on and so forth.
You bring up a very important point when it comes to coaching, and that is individuality in terms of creating programs. A rich turkey we almost sucked in. Dude, that's like that word's becoming such a fucking trend now. It cracks me up.
I was trying, just so you know, I was trying to edit a reel for like 30 minutes, and Instagram edits would not let me crop myself like I've been doing for all those split screen videos.
Yeah.
So I got really fucking frustrated. So I took the fucking clip from yesterday's video that was me on top, and I just made it full screen and just wrote a caption because I was lazy. I was like, I need to put something up today.
Hey, if there's someone who, if Instagram pissed you off today, they fucking pissed me off today when I woke up and saw that story was.
Dude, I won't post websites anymore.
I can't, dude. I can't send people anything. I like, if I see something, I can't send it to them. I can't message anyone back. I just have to. I've had a couple people ask me questions about like where I am in prep and how I'm feeling, whatever.
Yeah.
And I literally just like double tap. That's all I can do here. Yeah. I'm fucked over.
I have like 40 days until I can run ads again. So I'm not going to do a single fucking thing to jeopardize that one fucking bit.
And it's like, I didn't even I think maybe because it says Pro Elite Peptides in the logo up top.
Does it matter?
It's insane. Like, I'm like, because I understood the last one. Like, I didn't understand it, but I was like, okay,
you can't show a vial, a bottle, nothing.
Yeah. And like, it's just fucking, and of course someone probably has to report it. And you made a good point. It's probably someone who works at a different company or gets money from their sponsor.
Well, dude, because this was a thing. I made a post, I don't know, like 7 months ago or 6 months ago, that said, stop using my Soma Chem code. I'm no longer affiliated with them.
Yeah.
Use my Pro Elite one. Someone got fucking flagged. There wasn't a picture of anything. There wasn't a vial, nothing, just text. And they got reported for a scam.
Oh my God, dude.
For a fucking scam.
It's like, there are so many, like, you can scroll through Instagram and see racist shit. You can see people dying. You can see, like, the most extreme shit ever, but God forbid I post.
I can pretty much post my ass on Instagram, and I'm not going to get banned. But I say something about Mott C, fucking there goes my ass.
Oh no, we can't. We cannot have this on our platform.
I can show tape, but I can't show a vial.
Insane, man, and it's so fucking ridiculous. But anyway, wait, I had a Reddit true story. Sorry, the word just really cracks me up. Ask you if you should take. Can I use a growth hormone?
Fucking done.
I've gotten that question before, actually, of like younger people being like, "Hey, my growth plates are still going. I want to be taller. Should I take growth hormone?" I'm like, that's probably not a good idea.
I don't think it's gonna help that much.
No, I don't think so. Like, maybe your feet will swell.
Have to do it when you're extremely young. It's normally when they give it to people who are having.
It's like your growth plates are done by the time like you're pretty much through puberty. It's more so like pre-pubescent when it would actually fix people who are prone to dwarfism.
Yes,
that's what it is. Anyway, to reel us back, I was harping on the point of coaches that use cookie cutter programs and like taking the one thing and applying it to so many people, because that was the other thing I was venting to about this weekend at the show. I was like, and we said it in the previous week, it's like these people would literally just take it's laziness. They'll take one thing for all their females and give it to the rest, even if they're figure or their wellness or their bikini, and do the same thing for their men. And like, we had a whole discussion on this, so I won't get into it like last week, but it's just like, it's such a if it's copied and pasted exactly, it's just so lazy.
Well, the thing is this, right? Like, they don't expect, number one, anyone to see it, right? And the next, which makes it infinitely worse because they're just secretly being a piece of shit. But also at the end of the day, the person they're sending to do probably doesn't know any better, right? And there's some layer of trust already built because that's what made them sign up. So they're like, this person's not going to question it. They trust me. Or the one thing that some coaches I feel like do is like they set the coaching up like a friendship service almost. Like you're more so paying to have a friend that just happens to send you a meal plan more than anything else. So the relationship actually isn't about self-improvement or actual coaching. It's this guy gives me X amount per month. I tell him he's doing a good job, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, I get that some people are fine with that. Just give me something, right? Like something I can follow. And like, that's, it's fair. I give coaches like, that's fine. It's when you have a competitor and you're doing the same fucking shit for different divisions that's where it becomes prime fucking laziness. And this applies to like plenty of other aspects as well. I've seen coaches just give the same exact PEDs for other people.
I have copies of people's of a specific person's same exact peak week, right? And it's the same one that she used to get her pro card, and it's the same one that she gives to all her athletes. It's and like could you imagine a scenario when you have to give a bikini compared to LASIK? Like, can you imagine a scenario where you have to do that? Like where that would be truly appropriate?
It one, no, and two, it'd be like you absolutely fucked everything.
Yeah, it's like we're doing a regional show, man. We're not going for nationals right now, and you don't need to be that dry for bikini. You should be able to completely do that with just water manipulation on its own. Maybe if you flew in from somewhere and you weren't there for long enough, maybe a little bit of something, but like there's no need to deploy a loop diuretic for a bikini competitor. It's fucking pointless, right? Yeah. So like when you see shit like that doesn't make fucking sense, it's like, wow, this person truly copy and pasted the whole entire thing. And that goes right in conjunction with those coaches who write the peak week out in advance or write the drugs out in advance. Like, all right, we're starting this at this week. We're starting this. Dude, if we don't need to put T3 in at all, we're not going to. If we don't need to increase it at X week, we're simply not going to, right? Like you can't map out exactly how this prep is going to go. Yeah, there's some things that like are maybe just routine that you do, like for example, like I throw Winnie and Proviron in at a similar period of time, closer to most male shows, like the 4 week out mark. Is when I start throwing that in. All right, but that's a key thing for enhanced competitors to kind of finish a look, right? I'm not doing the same exact thing for my women. I'm not doing the same exact thing for my naturals, obviously. It's different, but that goes hand in hand with that cookie cutter programming.
And I think there's a difference between like I'll call them trends because trends work. Like there's a reason so many coaches deploy Winstraw and Proviron and Masteron because of the drying effect on prep. But it's when you take an individual who has specific circumstances.
Yep.
And you're just throwing what you do every time at them. Like the first thing I can think of is like a woman who is maybe enhanced and she's has gone postmenopausal and you're throwing anti-E's at her aggressively. And you're doing that for a prolonged period of time, not just like on a peak week. And you are taking someone who already has pretty low estrogen for a female. And you are absolutely tanking it into the fucking ground.
Dude, I think, I don't know if I told you about this. One of my clients last year, she had a hysterectomy. Doesn't make any of her own hormones.
Yeah.
So instead of giving her an estrogen blocker, she has an estrogen patch she wears.
Yep. Yep.
So we started cutting it in half. And instead of giving her something to block estrogen, we simply just reduced how much she was taking. Because that was a very person-specific protocol, because all right, cool, there's no reason to give you anything to block this. No, I know you're gonna give me Novadex right now. We're not making any of our own. Let's simply just reduce the dosage of the estrogen you're taking. That would do the same exact effect.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think makes it like a good coach can take your specific biological circumstances, understand why your mechanisms in your body may be different than somebody else's, and takes the appropriate precautions or the appropriate actions to make sure you are not going to die or severely hurt yourself. And that's like it really becomes this, that anything that endangers the health of an athlete is what makes irresponsible coaching so much more of a problem. Especially when you're prescribing drugs, because you're essentially taking on the role of a doctor per se.
Yeah.
And doctors can get fucking sued for prescribing the wrong drug.
Yeah.
I think we're a little more, coaches are a little more protected because you're suggesting something, you're not actually prescribing it.
Yeah.
But you have to take the same level of seriousness that you would if it was a doctor prescribing it. Like, and I feel like there's doctors out there who probably don't even, they're just like, oh yeah, take this. You might get some side effects. Who cares? Like, good coaches are like, here's what to expect. If you hear any of these things, let me know immediately and we will address it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've hopped on people's phone calls to show them how to inject, how to draw, things like that, just to kind of walk them through it. I'm like, all right, cool. If you experience these symptoms over the next couple of weeks, please let me know or notate it in your check-in and so on and so forth. But that's just simply just the difference between obviously caring about the end result and caring about the individual client, right? Like, is the goal just to make as many or put the most competitive physiques on stage, or is the goal to actually coach your client through their career, right? Like, you can do both. Like, you don't have to pick one or the other. You can care about your client and care about their well-being and also put amazing physiques on stage religiously.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I actually went to school originally to go to med school and was like, fuck, I don't want to do 10 to 15 years of school and residency to make a career, and I'm not going to be able to bodybuild if I'm fucking working 80 hours a week, like in med school. So I was like, I'm going to explore other alternatives. But that was originally what I wanted to do, because the thought of being able to like help people and understand physiology was like what made me want to be a doctor. And it's funny that I'm kind of doing something similar, but I'm not going to ever call myself the level of expertise that an MD may have, but
yeah,
cool. And I always, someone's health is always going to be the top priority for me. And if your coach does not give you that level of respect, it's a fucking problem. Some of the other things, and just to go into another topic, I think like so much of this has to do with just copy and pasting plans, but like excessive dieting for an athlete, excessive cardio for an athlete, excessive PEDs. We kind of just talked about some of that with PEDs, like thyroid at a certain point, whatever. Like, those are like also big things to look for, is like, are the athletes this person has, are they having to do extreme, is it a frequent occurrence that those athletes have to do?
Because there's always going to be some, right? There's always going to be some that are going to have to dig. But if it's a repeated thing, then probably something wrong with the actual way it's being approached. Maybe they're letting people get too fat in their off season, so they have to have these really aggressive preps. Maybe they're not timelining the preps long enough so they can get to where they want to go in an appropriate pace. So they have to crash diet them hard. If you start noticing these patterns, you can also kind of see like how that coach does their preparation, how they kind of manage their team. Because that's kind of what we do as coaches. We manage the timeline, we manage the team, who's competing when. Yeah, they have the ability to kind of pick what show, but we kind of base the season around what shows they're picking and such.
Yep. Yeah, it's and to Chrissy's point, I did want to say something about that. It was like when I got more and more into and like hearing coaches and seeing programs from other coaches, there were some that I like had a great deal of respect for, that I was almost disappointed that I was like, wow, they are doing literally what people bitch about when it comes to any coach. And I had a high level of respect for this person. These are people that have pro cards underneath, like have gotten people to pro cards. And I think sometimes that's the problem, is like they have one good athlete that works for them, and then it brings in a bunch of other athletes like, I want to be a pro. And that
I want to be like this guy. And
exactly.
It's normally someone who they kind of all know beforehand.
Yes.
So like, oh, this guy went pro. He can make me a pro then. And you kind of see that, especially there's always like a coach roulette after nationals. I don't know if you realize that a lot of people switch coaches after nationals, and then only all move to the coach who just got some pros.
And a lot of them tend to go, whoever is like the hot seat coach, they start to jump on that train, which doesn't mean that new coach is necessarily bad, but
no, it doesn't whatsoever. But it could also simply mean that are they creating good athletes or just good athletes going there?
Yeah, exactly. And and I think it's almost like a trend, right? The more they get great athletes signing up, the better they do, the more people want to sign up with them.
Yes.
And that's also why, like, I don't always think a big name coach is going to be able to give the full attention, or you think you're having a conversation with this big name coach and you're actually talking to someone who's being paid by them to handle your programs, basically. The ghost coaching.
Yeah, that's way too common of a thing nowadays, and especially with all these other apps that people are using. That's like the other reason why I like being on WhatsApp, because like let's just say we went to Kahuna's, right? Like Kahuna's is a very common app, dude. Like anyone could message as me in that app. Like no one can message as Mark in WhatsApp because it's connected to my phone number. I would have to give that person my phone, right?
Good point. Well, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, with those apps that you can just simply give someone your login and they can message as you. I know a bunch of coaches who do this, who literally, it's for like special occasions, they're going away on vacation, so they let someone that they know manage the clients for a week, and I guess it's not lifestyle people don't understand us having vacations, right? Our prep clients get that. Lifestyle people really don't get that. Like, oh, do I get a free week then because you're on vacation or so on? So I understand kind of why they do that, but like that's one of the reasons why I also don't like those apps, because you can have a whole team of people literally messaging as that person, and no one would know besides the people who work there.
It's and the fact that it's becoming that common is such a fucking problem, dude. Like it's problems that probably didn't exist, 5-10 years ago.
Well, the big reason is because specifically it's so much easier to scale a business on social media. And no one wants to put caps on their rosters.
Yeah.
So what's the easiest way to make like $500,000 a year? Well, you know what? I don't cap my book. I take as many people who are willing to sign up, and then I just shuttle them to coaches who work underneath of me, but they all think they're working with me anyway. And I just give that coach like 30% of what I collected from that client. That coach would be happy because that coach doesn't know how to market himself anyway. So he'll take the $150 per client a month while I pocket the $350.
Yep. And it's not, and there's no regulation. There's no one looking over to see if people are doing this the correct way. So, and this is why it's just like, if you're going to hire a coach, like do your research. I know a lot of people who are watching this are probably me or your clients, but like I from experience, remember when I signed up with you, I was like, I need a coach. I'm going to go and look at a bunch of different people and get like, what's their personality? How do they talk? What are they open to? And doing that and not just going to the hot hand per se, like, oh, this guy has a lot of good people. I think that makes your experience that much better, especially just having that consult and really truly asking everything that you need from a coach. Because I think some people just like they don't, not to say that they don't care as much during the consult, but you want to go almost as an like you're evaluating. Go with questions. Like
think that you're running a job interview. Like if you're going to go to a coach, think that you are the job interviewer asking questions. Because like at the end of the day, like you want to know, you don't want to just go in and just listen to whatever the coach has to say. There's nothing, like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like it makes it harder for the coach to also understand what you want to get out of coaching, right? Like what is your expectation, so I understand what you want me to deliver on. And if you want me to deliver on something I don't offer, then we're probably not a good fit, right? Yeah. And I remember having a consult with someone, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I would like us to jump on the phone once a week." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not committing to that, man."
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with you or that. Like I can text you a bunch of times over the course of the week. We can message on WhatsApp. But like I'm not going to schedule a phone call with someone once a week. It's a lot of bandwidth to commit to on a weekly, monthly basis. So it's not going to be a good fit for me. But you know what? I'm sure there's someone who will. And like him is asking questions like that, we were able to kind of disqualify working with one another. And like the consult's not just for the client, the consult's also for us too, to see if we can deliver on what they want, to see if the experience they're leaving could be the same exact experience that we're about to give them. So I would rather just save face and say, hey, we're not a good fit. But there's been times I've hopped on calls with people and they kind of describe exactly how I run my program. And I'm like, yeah, I'd do kind of the same thing, man. I don't know if it'd be any different. Maybe if you want to find someone else. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And some people, like I said it earlier, they just want something. And but your personalities have to blend to really have a true quality experience of trusting that coach, like, because that's really where the trust, especially as a competitor, is where trusting that you're getting the proper attention and being able to bring up issues when they do come up is so important. Like if you can't go to your coach and say, hey, I'm having this problem, then you shouldn't, like, that's the first sign you should not be working with them. I get on my guys. I'm like, please overly ask me questions or overly harass me with data. Like I need that stuff.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things that, like, I understand, like, everyone thinks our time is valuable, and I'm not going to say our time is not valuable.
Yeah.
But, like, I think sometimes people think we're busier than we actually are. And like, you just bother us. It's our fucking job, right? It literally is our job. I'm not going to say take a picture of your poop and send it to me every day and say, hey, is that poop healthy? Don't want that. But I want you to be able to ask questions and feel comfortable asking things that you don't know, especially when it comes to your body, right? Like, I've had people who like felt weird asking digestion related stuff. I'm like, bro, it's poop, man. Like it's poop. It's part of the fucking thing, man. Like if you're not pooping every single day or twice a day, we need to have a conversation about what we're doing, right? And like I understand like some things may not feel like social norms. Like I've had people who had issues setting check-ins in. Be like, I'm too fat right now. I can't send check-in photo. I'm like, bro, this is like I don't give a fuck, man. I've seen people way fatter than you. I promise.
Or I don't want to send my weight, like,
yeah,
because like that's another one, and I understand it's not fun to step on the scale and see a weight you don't like.
Yeah, no,
I get it, especially and I think that's more common with women, is that if they know if they're coming in and they want to lose weight, and if they're not, or they're coming from a very heavy weight, it's like, oh, I don't want to send that, but we are non-judgmental. We are trying to get you to where you want to be, and getting us that data is going to allow us to make the best decisions possible. So, I always ask my clients to be overshare, don't undershare, and I won't judge. And I think part of what I notice on these consults now, when I bring up our bitching box.
Yeah.
So many people laugh and they're like, wait, that's awesome. And I'm like, yeah, because even if something's off mentally, like I want to fucking know what's going on in your life, because that affects you physically, it affects your ability to follow a program.
Yeah.
And some coaches just don't give a shit about that.
And this is the one thing how I phrase to people on the call is that it lets me know how to coach you this week, right? Yeah. If you had a shitty, terrible week, your dog died, your girlfriend fucked her boss, and you didn't follow the diet, and you ate pizza a couple times over the course of the week, I'm probably not even going to remotely talk about the pizza. Like I'm probably not. I'm not even going to remotely talk about the diet. I'm going to talk about the terrible, shitty things that you had happen in your life. I'm going to tell you to go crush some fucking heavy weight. I hope we have a much better week, right? I'm not even going to talk about the pizza that you fucking ate. But if you left out that part of it and only said that you ate pizza every day, well, I'm going to be like, bro, what the fuck? Why are we eating pizza every day, right? It's like it completely changes the conversation and what we're going to talk about and what's going to be the hyperfixation, because I would fully understand if those two things happened to you and you went off the rails a few days. I wouldn't blame you one fucking bit, right? But like if you don't tell me shitty stuff happened, I'm just thinking being a fuckface with your diet, which is not really the case at all. You had a series of unfortunate events.
And I think this is where and you could say this is a good coaching thing or it's not, it's just what we do. We play we do play therapist a little bit, where it's like people will be really hard on themselves, especially in the sport. And a lot of it's like, you had all this shit come up in your life and you still followed the plan 80% to a T. I'm the one that's going to tell you that's a fucking win. Like, similar to what you said, your dog passed away, you lose a loved one, you had to go to like 3 funerals, and like you ate 50% of your diet. You tried. And like that life, we are all fucking human. There are pro Olympian bodybuilders out there who have skipped their fucking diet. I promise you it has happened.
That is one thing about bodybuilders. They lie more than anyone else about how much they follow their diet, because there's a level of shame, public shame, about admitting that they cheated on their diet, because there's a lot more people than you think have fucked up and will never say they fucked up.
Yes, and especially
male bodybuilders, bro. Bodybuilders are the worst.
I have watched people be like 100% on point with my diet, locked in for this prep, and I'm like, why do you have that at the gym? Are you like, and in my head I'm like, if I was cheating on my diet, I'd be smart enough not to bring it to a public place where everyone can see.
Yes.
I almost thought about texting, I know this person's coach, and I almost was like, I should text them and be like, hey, did you prescribe like this protein drink in this person's diet for this prep? Because watching them drink it right now. But
yeah, man,
not my business.
I've had coaches send me pictures of my clients doing cardio, and like, I know you don't like when they hang on like this. I'm like, all right, thank you. They're gonna hear about it later in a whole different way.
There were a good amount of people when I made the reel, or I made a story, I think, ranting about that, and they were like, yeah, it got so much harder after I realized I was doing it wrong. I'm like, that's the fucking point. And then I got asked, do you think it actually makes a difference holding on versus not? Like, what is the significant difference? And I was like, well, you probably are burning like 25 to 50 more calories if you let go per 5 minutes, maybe. And if you're doing that every 5 fucking minutes, that's a huge amount of calories you're missing out on not burning because your heart rate's not as high. So
it's simply that, right? It's simply, it should be hard. Don't make it easier. If you're making it easier, you're burning less calories. That's simply how I would look at it, right? The harder you can make cardio, the better, more you're getting out of it.
Yep, exactly. So, I think we went through everything of my notes.
Fucking dead, Jason.
Being too repetitive to say I don't train in Jersey. And the thing is, you train, Mark, at like a really popular gym. So
yeah, like, I see so many people's clients doing dumb shit.
And it's funny because I have a lot of clients at Muscle, and they all do a pretty good job in front of me. So the only thing I will yell at people for is, why are you talking so much when you should be training?
We're always watching, guys. We're always like Santa Claus.
I don't understand why we need to take 5 minutes to have a conversation and not get back to our set. Anyway.
We're always watching.
Always watching. Like, that is what I'm watching for. And I give major props to my clients who have never missed a beat in front of me. So that's a win too. So, yep, that was everything I had in terms of notes in my fucking document. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it, big dog.
Cool. I think she's mad at me for being extremely loud.
What's her name?
So, Luna.
What's up, bro?
She's like, what's going on?
Gang.
It's like, why are we awake right now? Late. So, Cannoli's pissed. Look, Luna, it's another cat.
You want to pick up? No.
Oh, she's pissed. What's with bodybuilders and having cats, man? I feel like we all have.
Well, dude, it's because like 50% of the time we are on the couch or in a chair eating a meal, right? Yeah. I am way more in my house working and eating than I am outside walking or outside playing.
And they love us because we're basically a furnace.
Yes.
So she will like last night, she's comes up and lays directly on my fucking chest and throat. And I'm like, ma'am, we're not going to be able to do this for all the.
No,
I'm going to have to turn on
right.
my stomach.
As prep gets closer, we are not doing this. You're gonna wake up soaked. You're gonna be
exactly.
to you.
I'm gonna like throw you off of me in my sleep, and you're gonna like that. Not even you're gonna like that less.
Way less.
So, but all right, yeah, that was it. I don't have anything else.
All right, brother, want to sign us off?
Sure. So, thank you, everybody, as always, for hopping on. We will be back on Wednesday. So thank you guys. Have a good night. And Mark, I will talk to you later.
Later, guys.